Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Why you are not chanting? Both of you? Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम रामा हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीमद् भागवत गीता एज इट इज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Samaveta Gaur Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita Sloka. We are reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 12, text 5. If anyone needs to go first, please raise your hands. Yes, Mataji. Priyanka, Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Kalesho adhikarastesham avyaktat saktachetasham avyakta hi gate dukkham dehavadbhi avapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Thank you.
Aditi Lata Mataji and Arunita.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Kleshodikatarasteşam avyaktat chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkam deha vibhir avapatir. Translation. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome, and to make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Kleshodika tarastesham avyakta saktachetasam avyakta hi gatir dukham dehabhadbhir avyapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in the discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll go in order. Achintadev Prabhu.
He probably will read last, Mataji.
Okay. Inba Inia. Jai Shri Mataji. Jai Ganesh Prabhu. Not ready? Isha.
क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied.
Krishna Ashish.
क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied.
Madhava.
क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied.
Rasa Priya.
Kleshodikatarasteşam avyaktasaktachetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkam dehavapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal features of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied.
Lokesh.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai Guru Maharaj.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्ताशक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देववद्भिरवाप्यते. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Thank you, Mataji. Lokesh will recite last.
Okay, Mataji. Usha Mataji and Medha.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तसक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्त हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवाभिर्वाद्भिरवाप्यते. Translation. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Thank you much. Once Medha is here.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तसक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्त हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते. Translation. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is
Like this.
very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied.
Yeah. Saujanya Mataji and Pragnya.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्ताशक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवाद्भिरवाप्यते. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Hare Krishna Mataji. Prajna is not available, Mataji.
Okay. All right. Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहबुद्धिरवाप्यते. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay. So now those who have not recited can recite. And if you're not ready still, then I can recite first.
Mataji, I can read.
You're ready. Okay, Prabhuji, please.
Will you help me, Mataji?
Yes. Kleshodhikatarastesham.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees. Klesho Dikha Tarastesham
Avyakta Sakta Chetasam.
Avyaktasta Chetasam
Avyakta Asakta. Avyakta Sakta Chetasam.
Avyakta Asakta Chetasam
Avyakta Hi Gatir Dukkham.
Avyakta Hir Gatir Dukham
Dehavadbhir Avapyate.
Tehavabidhir Avapyate. Translation. Mataji, can you scroll up a bit? Thank you, Mataji. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Inba, Inya, are you ready? Okay. Lokesh,
Mataji, he's not ready. Mataji.
not ready. Okay. So I'll just recite, and if anyone joins in the meanwhile, you can recite. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 12, text 5. क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is troublesome. To make progress. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. It's very troublesome. Yes, Lokesh.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord, Supreme advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is very difficult for those who are embodied. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, go ahead. Next is anyone else? So shall we begin Srimad Bhagavatam? Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 14, King Pururava, enchanted by Urvashi. So we were reading how after hearing about the wonderful qualities, the beauty, the fame of Maharaj Pururava, the power, Urvashi became attracted, and she was also cursed by Mitra and Varuna. As a result, she acquired human behavior. So she came down to the earth and she approached Maharaj Pururava. When Maharaj Pururava saw her beauty, he was also very much enchanted by her, and he welcomed her and he said, let's enjoy together. You can stay with me for as long as you like. And she also approved of that, saying that which woman in this world would not be happy, right, to be in a relationship with you, right? Yeah. So there we saw how Srila Prabhupada explained. So she said that, after embracing you, which woman would not be happy to enjoy a sexual relationship with you? So, of course, Srila Prabhupada said, this is the hard knot in the material world, right? Once the male and female, they come together, and when they embrace each other, then it just one thing leads to the next. Then there is no stopping. Yeah. Then there is no stopping, right? of the consequences. It will just end up uh, uh, in a sexual union, and that creates a hard knot in the heart, and that binds the living entity to the material world. But how does a devotee look at this? Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhupada quotes Prahlad Maharaj, Yanmaitunadi grihamedi sukham hi tuchham. Right? This type of sexual attraction between male and female, which is actually the highest pleasure for the grihamedi, is actually very, very insignificant and very low, paltry, right? Tuchham, very abominable, like that. So we are reading about the meeting between King Pururava and Urvashi. What happened after that? She also said that even though, so there's one thing that we didn't, which is not highlighted in the purport. This one. She said that, my dear king, please give protection to these two lambs. So that part was not discussed in the purport, so it was kind of overlooked. But this is significant. This one will come later on in the, as we read, these two lambs play a very important role. So she was happy to marry Pururava, become his wife, and enjoy with him, even though she was from the heavenly planets. Why? Because Pururava was very qualified. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, it's not just by birth, it's actually by quality. If someone on the earthly planet has such wonderful superior qualities, then even a lady from the heavenly planets from a higher community would be more than happy to marry him and to become a submissive wife. So she agreed. She was happy. The only thing was she set some conditions for her to be Pururava's wife, King Pururava's wife. One thing is, she said, you have to give protection to these two lambs. When I got cursed, these lambs also came with me. So she looked after these two lambs, sheep, right? She looked after them like her own sons, like her own children. So she said, you must take care of my lambs. You must protect my lambs. That was first thing. And then, of course, I'm more than happy, even though I'm from the heavens, I'm more than happy to be your wife. I have no objection to accepting you as my husband because you're superior to me in every respect. That's the point. And the point that Srila Prabhupada brought out is that even Chanakya Pandit says that if you find, a spouse, a woman who has very good qualities, even though she's from a low caste, you must accept it. And similar other examples also. But specifically here we are talking about marriage. So if you find good qualities, even if the person is not from the same caste, you must accept. You must accept. So the important thing is the qualities. Next verse. So I think Rasapri is supposed to read. Madhava read the last one. Is that right? Or you don't remember? घृतं मे वीरभक्ष्यं स्यान् नेक्षे त्वान्यत्र मैथुनात् विवाससं तत्तथेति प्रतिपेदे महामनाः. Krishnashish read. I don't remember if Madhava read or not. Translation. Didn't read. Okay, go ahead.
Urvashi said,
Jagnesh
my
Prabhu
dear
Khan
hero,
read last.
only preparations made in ghee, clarified butter, will be my eatables, and I shall not want to see you naked at any time, except at the time of sexual intercourse. The great minded King Pururava accepted these proposals.
You're on mute, Mataji.
Urvashi said, "My dear hero, only preparations made in ghee, clarified butter, will be my eatables, and I shall not want to see you naked at any time, except at the time of sexual intercourse." The great-minded King Pururava accepted these proposals. So what were the conditions? First condition was, you have to protect these 2 lambs that I brought. Then I will only eat food which is cooked in ghee. I will be a wife, but don't give me any food which is cooked in oil or anything else. I will only eat food which is cooked in ghee. Why? Because she's from the heavenly planets, and in the heavenly planets they don't eat any oils. They eat only ghee. Everything is cooked in ghee there. Their food, their habits, they're all very pure. They're all in the mode of goodness, the heavenly planets, the residents of the heavenly planets. So she said, even though she's coming to this earth, she cannot, she cannot come down to that standard of the human beings. Even in human beings, those who are from a higher class, they eat pure foods. So she said, I will only eat food which is cooked in ghee. That was one condition. The other condition was, I don't want to ever see you naked. So in other words, if I see you naked at any time, then I'm going to leave you. I won't be with you. That's understood. So if you agree to these conditions, then I will marry you. And King Pururava was more than happy to accept. He said, no problem. So let's see what happened after that. Yeah, Urvashi said, my dear hero, only preparations made in ghee will be my eatables, and I shall not want to see you naked at any time except at the time of sexual intercourse. The great-minded King Pururava accepted these proposals. So Maharaj explains, His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj explains, the residents of the heavenly planets, they're actually very well dressed. They're very nicely dressed, covering themselves properly. It's not a fashion amongst the cultured people to remain naked or not dressed properly or meagerly dressed. This is not the culture of the higher beings. So to walk around naked is considered abominable. It's not good. So whereas in the modern world, not dressing, not wearing less clothes is considered to be very attractive. But that's not the case in cultured societies. So Urvashi said that I don't want to see you naked. If I see you naked, then I will just leave you. Like that. So that's just an additional note on this point, her condition. And of course, King Pururava was very exalted. He was a great personality, the great-minded King Pururava. Of course, right? He accepted that. He was also a great person. Otherwise, why would she even accept him as her husband? Text 23. Aho rupam aho bhavo naraloka vimohanam kona seveta manujo devim tvam swayamagatam. Rasapriya.
Oh, beautiful one. Your
Pururava replied,
Pururava replied, oh, beautiful one, your beauty is wonderful, and your gestures are so wonderful. Indeed, you are attractive to all human society. Therefore, since you have come of your own accord from the heavenly planets, who on earth would not agree to serve a demigoddess of the
yes. So obviously, Pururava Maharaj was completely enchanted by her beauty. When he first saw her, he just welcomed her and he was completely enchanted. The title of this chapter is King Pururava enchanted by Urvashi. She was a demigoddess, right? Apsara, coming from the heavenly planets. So he was completely enchanted by her beauty. It was far superior to human beauty. So when she set these conditions, King Pururava is also saying, you have come of your own accord, even though you are from the heavenly planets. You know, any human being would be more than willing, right, to accept you. Let's see what Pururava Maharaj is saying. He said, "O beautiful one, your beauty is wonderful and your gestures are also wonderful," right? The feminine gestures that are very, very attractive. So your beauty is wonderful and your gestures are also wonderful. Indeed, you are attractive to all human society. They are so attractive, apsaras, that they are sent to enchant the most austere tapasvis and rishis. That means they are so attractive that even those who are very, very strict tapasvis, simply by hearing their ankle bells or their bangles, or by seeing their beautiful smile or whatever, they just become completely mad and they give up their tapasya, their penances, their practices. They fall. Such great personalities like Vishwamitra Muni and others, right? When they see these apsaras, so I'm just trying to tell you what is the beauty of these apsaras. They're extremely attractive. So Pururava Maharaj is also saying that you are attractive to all human society and you have come of your own accord from the heavenly planets, right? First of all, you're so beautiful, so attractive to everyone. I mean, in this world, if somebody is Miss Universe, people think, oh, this person is so beautiful, right? So if Miss Universe came and proposed to a young man, I would like to marry you, most probably the man would say, of course, right? But after all, this is a human being. Someone from the heavenly planets is coming down and saying, I'm attracted to you. I would like to be your wife. I would like to marry you. Pururava Maharaj is also not an ordinary person. He is also an extremely qualified, so qualified person that even in the demigod society they talk about him. Narad Muni is glorifying Pururava Maharaj in Lord Indra's assembly. And he's saying that all human beings are enchanted, they are very much attracted to your beauty. So if you come on your own accord and if you propose, which man will reject, which man will not be happy to accept you as his wife, whatever conditions you may set, in other words, right? So of course I will give you food and ghee and all conditions accepted. Since you have come of your own accord from the heavenly planets, who on earth would not agree to serve a demigoddess such as you? Okay, next purport. Sonia Mataji.
It appears from the words of Urvashi that the standard of living, eating, behavior, and speech are all different on the heavenly planets from the standards on this planet Earth. The inhabitants of the heavenly planets do not eat such abominable things as meat and eggs. Everything they eat is prepared in clarified butter. Nor do they like to see either man or woman naked, except at the time of sexual intercourse. To live naked or almost naked is uncivilized, but on this planet Earth, it has now become fashionable to dress half naked, and sometimes those like hippies live completely naked. Indeed, there are many clubs and societies for this purpose. Such conduct is not allowed, however, on the heavenly planet. The Inhabitants of the heavenly planet, aside from being very beautiful, both in complexion and bodily features, are well behaved and long living, and they eat first class food in goodness. These are some of the distinctions between the inhabitants of the heavenly planets and the inhabitants of Earth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. These are the distinctions between the inhabitants of the heavenly planets and the inhabitants of the earth. Right? I mean, you can even just imagine if you saw a very cultured Brahmana family from a traditional family. Imagine what would be their habits, how would they dress, how would they eat. Brahmanas are said to be in the mode of goodness in the human society. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha. Those who are in the mode of goodness, they are elevated to the higher levels, higher planets, higher realms. Swarga is in the higher planet compared to this earth. So when you are in the mode of goodness, then you go. So that means their standards will be at least, if not much more, far above the standards of the topmost Brahmanas on this earth planet. Whether, their eating habits or their living habits, cleanliness, purity. So, whereas what is going on in the name of modern civilization is going more towards adho gachanti tamasa, going down, copying animals. We discussed it a few weeks ago, how they're fighting for rights to be dogs. Human beings are going on, they are doing strikes in groups, right? In mass, they're going and they're doing like you know, they want this right to be dogs. Human beings want to be dogs. That means live according to the standards of a dog. And another case is where this is in US. Some students, I think two girls, they have to be accepted in school, and it is, the girl thinks she's a dog and she should be accepted in school, and she goes to school, and in between she goes outside like a dog. She stays in her kennel or something, and she comes back because she thinks she's a dog, and the government should give that freedom, right? If somebody wants to be a dog, then you should allow them to be a dog. So the point is, living naked and eating flesh, all these are animal qualities. These are not humans' qualities. What to speak of demigods? So Srila Prabhupada is bringing out this distinction. What in the modern world, right? Sometimes we get influenced thinking that this is, right, more advanced, or this is the way to live. Even though born and brought up in a traditional family, after going to the West, men and women both start dressing in, wearing less clothes on their body. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. Being half naked, and what to speak of being fully naked. This is not at all acceptable in a cultured society. What to speak in the demigod society? It's not acceptable. It's considered abominable. Urvashi said, if I ever see you naked, I'm not going to live with you. I'm going to go away. Because we don't tolerate this type of behavior. Okay, next verse. Yeah. They don't eat eggs or meat, Srila Prabhupada says. And whatever they eat is cooked in clarified butter, means ghee. And they don't see each other naked. Yeah. So their behavior, their eating, their speech, they're all of a higher standard in the heavenly planets. Next verse. Lokesh. Taya sapurusha shreshto ramayantya yatharhata reme sura vihareshu kamam chaitra rathadishu.
Sukadeva Goswami continued, the best of the human beings, Pururava, began freely enjoying the company of Urvasi, who engaged in sexual activities with him in many celestial places, such as Chaitra Ratha and Nandakanana, where the demigods enjoy.
So they agreed. So they got married apparently. So they were living together. Sukadeva Goswami continued, the best of human beings, Pururava, began freely enjoying the company of Urvashi, who engaged in sexual activities with him in many celestial places. Of course, one thing is, it doesn't mention that they were married or anything, because she was an Apsara, so they are, it's not that they get married and they live with one person for all their lives. It's not like that. And at the same time, they're not touched by sin, because that's their, they're Apsaras, right? That's what they do. They're like the society girls in the heavenly planets. So it is said that they were living freely, enjoying freely in Pururava and Urvashi. But of course, in the previous verse, Srila Prabhupada said that she agreed to be his wife, right? Oh. 22. My dear hero, yeah, she simply said, although I belong to the heavenly planets and you belong to the earth, text 21, I shall certainly enjoy sexual union with you. I have no objection to accepting you as my husband. Okay, so she's saying, I have no objection to accepting you as my husband. So she agreed to become his wife, for you are superior in every respect. Okay, so then Sukadeva Goswami is saying that they began to freely enjoy, right, together. So because Urvashi belonged to the heavenly planets, she would take him to the gardens in Swarga, Nandana Kanana, and other places like Chaitra Ratha, where the demigods would, sport. She would take Pururava, King Pururava, to those places, to celestial places, and they would enjoy together freely. Next. रममाणस्तया देव्या पद्मकिञ्जल्कगन्धया तन्मुखामोदमुषितो मुमुदे हर्गणान् बहून्. Lokesh.
Yeah. Urvashi's body was as fragrant as the saffron on a lotus, being enlivened by the fragrance of her body, face and body. Pururava enjoyed her company for many days with great jubilation.
Yeah, so another thing is that the demigods' bodies, they don't perspire, and even if they perspire, it doesn't smell bad. Their bodies are always very fragrant, and fragrance is also heavenly, not of this earth. So Urvashi's body was very, very fragrant. And even Maharaj explains, His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj explains her breath, right? Her breath was also very very, very fragrant. Not just her body, her skin was very fragrant. It was nice. You know about Satyavati. In Mahabharata we read, she was blessed by um, Parashar Muni, that she would have her body would emit a very fragrant odor, aroma. Otherwise, being a fisherman's daughter, her body was always emitting the smell of fish, which is good, not nice. Nobody would be attracted. But then, because of serving Parashara Muni, fulfilling his desire in giving birth to Vyasdev, Parashara Muni blessed Satyavati that her body would emit this very fragrant aroma. And it was to this fragrance of a body that Shantanu Maharaj became attracted. So it's very powerful. So Urvashi's bodily fragrance was very, very attractive. And Pururava, King Pururava, was very much enchanted. So he was completely satisfied, not exactly satisfied, because as we read further, we will see. Why not satisfied? He was enjoying, certainly, he was getting great pleasure, but it's not like satiation. Yes, I've had enough and I'm feeling good. It's not like that. There was always hankering. He wanted more and more and more. That is the nature of material lust, right? You want more and more and more, and there is that you never feel satiated that yes, I have had enough. There's always this burning experience. This is the nature of material lust. So anyway, so King Pururava was completely enchanted by this fragrance coming from her body, and uh, and the breath, right? So see, gandhaya means the bodily fragrance, and mukha amoda means the breath. Both were very, very fragrant, and he completely enjoyed her company because of this, in great jubilation. Apashyan urvashim indro gandharvan samachodayat urvashi rahitam mahyam asthanam nati shobhate. Meanwhile, okay, who's next? Usha Mataji? Medha?
Sorry, Mataji, I'm driving. And
No
Medha went to
problem.
school.
Okay, so next, Neelambari Radha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Dhanwat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Not seeing Urvashi in his assembly, the king of heaven, Lord Indra, said, "Without Urvashi, my assembly is no longer beautiful." Considering this, he requested the Gandharvas to bring her back to his heavenly planet. Hare
So
Krishna.
King in Hare Krishna Mataji, Lord Indra was very fond of Urvashi. He was also very fond of Urvashi. And she had gone, she was cursed. So she went, and she was with, and King Pururava was so much enchanted, and he didn't want to give her up. Lord Indra is missing Urvashi in his assembly. So now the demigods they started planning how to bring Urvashi back. And Maharaj says that even Urvashi was also kind of getting, like, she was also looking for an opportunity to go back to heavens. That's where she belonged, right? She enjoyed with Urvashi Maharaj, she enjoyed with Pururava Maharaj enough, and now she also wanted to go back. You know, it was good enough. But there had to be an excuse to leave him. So the condition was made. What was the condition? The lambs have to be protected, and she should not see him naked at any time except when they were, you know, having sex. Other than that, she should never see him naked. This was the condition. So now plans were being made in the heavens to get Urvashi back. So they're going to do something. Without Urvashi, the heavens are no longer beautiful, Lord Indra is saying. Te upetya maharatre tamasi pratyupasthite urvashya uranau jahurur nyastau rajani jayaya. Okay. Who's next? Priyanka Haripriya Mataji.
Thus the Gandharvas came to earth, and at midnight, when everything was dark, they appeared in the house of Pururava and stole the two lamps entrusted to the king by his wife Urvashi.
Purport also, Mataji.
Purport. The dead of night refers to midnight. The Mahanisha is described in this Smriti mantra. Mahanisha dve ghatike ratre madhyama yamayuha. 12 o'clock midnight is called the dead of night.
Yeah. So this Maharatri, right? Maharatri literally means midnight. Midnight. So at that time, it is really pitch dark, like Amavasya. It's really dark. At that time, when Urvashi was sleeping with Pururava Maharaj, they were fast asleep. In dead of night, what happened? Lord Indra sent the Gandharvas. So the Gandharvas came to earth at midnight when everything was dark. They appeared, the Gandharvas, they can just appear and disappear. So they appeared in the house of Pururava and they stole the two lambs, Urvashi's lambs, that she had brought with her from the heavens. And she had asked King Pururava to protect these lambs. So they stole these two lambs that were entrusted to King Pururava by his wife Urvashi. She had entrusted them to Pururava Maharaj. You now protect these lambs. And those lambs were stolen. Nishamyakranditam Devi putrayorniyamanayoho hatasmyaham punathena napumsa viramanina. Saujanya Mataji. Not able to read. Maybe Mataji is in a meeting or something. Achinta Dev Prabhu.
Mataji, I was bit away. Sorry, Mataji.
No problem. Go ahead.
Urvashi treated the two lambs like her own sons. Therefore, when they were being taken by the Gandharvas and began crying, Urvashi heard them and rebuked her husband. Now I'm being killed, she said, under the protection of an unworthy husband who is a coward and a eunuch.
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 Oh, sorry. And eunuch, although he thinks himself a great hero. Correct.
So, what happened was when these two lambs were being taken away by these strangers, right? It was in the night, dead of night, and these two lambs see some strange people come and take them away. They get scared and they start making their, fearful cries like meh, 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 like sheep would do. When they made those cries, Urvashi heard them. She could feel that they were in danger. Otherwise, why they're crying in the middle of the night? So, because she treated these lambs just like her own children, when she heard that the lambs were, in danger, somebody was taking them away or something, they were in danger, that's why they were crying. She became so upset with her husband who was sleeping nicely. when her children were in danger. And she started rebuking her husband. Why she did this? Because she also was looking for an opportunity to get away. So she knew he was fast asleep, he's sleeping, and when she aggravated him in that condition, in a hurry, when he would just get up and he would go because he's still half asleep, probably, he won't be so mindful of his clothes, and maybe his clothes will fall off and she'll happen to see him naked, and she'll get an opportunity to give a reason why she's leaving him. And that was the plan of the demigods also. Why they came in the middle of the night when he was fast asleep and taking the lambs away? For the same reason. Because the whole plan was to bring Urvashi back to heavens. And she was also playing along with that. So what did she do? She said such harsh words, for, like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, for one who is respected, disrespect, or for one who is honored, dishonor is worse than death. Pururava Maharaj was not just an ordinary person. He was a world famous king, not just world famous. He was a very, very respectable person, so much so that even Narad Muni is glorifying him in the heavenly planets, in King Indra's assembly. And we saw how when she first saw him, she was glorifying. Which woman would not be, enchanted, to embrace you, your broad chest, and who would not be happy to be your wife because you're superior to me in all qualities, so on and so forth. And now, what is she saying? Just look at the verse. She's saying that Hatasmi. Hatasmi means I'm dead. I'm dead. Right? Hatasmi means I am dead. And Ku Natha. Natha means master. Ku Natha means a bad master or a bad husband. I am dead. Why I am dead? Because I'm under the protection of a bad husband who is not capable of giving protection to his wife. Napumsa. Napumsa means he's a eunuch. He's simply, in name only, he's a male, but actually he is like a female. Why? Why like a female? Generally, when there is danger, when somebody is attacking, what do women do? They lock the doors nicely and stay inside safe, isn't it? It is the men that take some weapons or something and go outside. Women are usually, they just stay inside with the kids, lock up the doors and stay inside. And even though he is the husband and he is the king and he's supposed to give protection to my lambs, he's sleeping inside like a woman, taking shelter of the house, just staying safe inside the house. Napumsa. Napunsak means a eunuch. He has, an important person. He's not a male like that. It's a very, insulting word for a chivalrous Kshatriya to be called like that. So she's saying, Hatasmi, I am dead because of a bad husband who is not even able to give protection. And he calls himself Veera Manina. Manina means he's just imagining, he's thinking, right? He's considering himself to be a Veera, a great hero. But in reality, he's not a great hero. He's just a eunuch. He's a useless person. Like that, she's saying. And Maharaj was sleeping, right? He was fast asleep. He was not aware. She could hear because, she treated those lambs like her own kids. Urvashi treated the two lambs like her own sons. Therefore, when they were being taken by the Gandharvas and began crying, Urvashi heard them and rebuked her husband. Now I am killed, she said, under the protection of an unworthy husband who is a coward and a eunuch, although he thinks himself a great hero. So, what does King Pururava do after hearing this? Yad vishrambhad aham nashta हरितापत्या च दस्युभिः यः शेते संत्रस्तो यः शेते संत्रस्तो यथा नारी दिवापुमान. So this comes here, nari divapuman. Okay. Translation. Yeah, go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Because I depended on him, the plunderers have deprived me of my 2 sons, the lambs, and therefore I am now lost. My husband lies down at night in fear, exactly like a woman, although he appears to be a man during the day. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So I explained this already. He's sleeping here in fear like a woman. He's staying indoors out of fear of the enemy like a woman. But he looks like a man during the day, right? He pretends to be a great king and a kshatriya during the day. And at night he becomes a woman, right? During the day, he acts like a man. And at night he becomes a woman. That means he's fearful. He doesn't have that kshatriya valor. Why? Because my 2 sons are being taken away by the Gandharvas or by somebody, and he's here out of fear, staying indoors, still sleeping. Like that. So she's really, aggravating him. Because I depended on him, because he's useless, right? Why the Gandharvas are able to, the plunderers, she says, why the plunderers, the thieves are able to steal my sons? Because I'm depending on a useless person. They know this. That's why the plunderers have deprived me of my 2 sons, the lambs, and therefore I'm now lost. I've lost my son, so I'm lost. My husband lies down at night in fear, exactly like a woman, although he appears to be a man during the day. Iti vaksaya kairbiddhaha pratotrair iva kunjaraha nishi nistrimsham adaya vivastro bhyadravadrusha. Mataji, Prabhuji. Achintya Prabhu or Aditya Lata Mataji. Not ready? Inba, Inya?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Pururava, stricken by the sharp words of Urvashi, like an elephant struck by its driver's pointed rod, became very angry. Not even dressing himself properly, he took a sword in hand and went out naked into the night to follow the Gandharvas who had stolen the lamps.
Yeah. Prabhuji, we are not able to hear you. I just saw your message. I'm not able to hear your voice, Prabhuji. Achintya Prabhu. Pururava, stricken by the sharp words of Urvashi, right? Really sharp words. How were her words to him? They were like an elephant struck by its driver's pointed rod. So the elephant is so big. How is the elephant controlled? By a small human being. He uses a pointed rod, a stick, and he just, like literally digs into its ears and into its back like this to guide. And then because of that sharp, poking, the elephant follows the orders of the person sitting on the back. So Urvashi's words were like the pointed rod of an elephant's driver, like really pushing and, pricking King Pururava's heart. So by that, he became very angry. Obviously, he's a Kshatriya. He became very angry that she called him a woman, she called him a eunuch, she called him a bad husband. So, out of anger, not even dressing himself properly, he took a sword in hand and went out naked into the night to follow the Gandharvas who had stolen the lamps. Actually, he was dressed when he was sleeping, but he was going in a hurry. He didn't even take care, right? That his clothes just in a hurry when he was going, because he was so mad, he was so angry that she said this. He just wanted to go, so he just rushed, and then his clothes fell off and he didn't even notice that. He didn't pay attention to that. So therefore it is said, not even dressing himself properly, he took a sword in hand and went out naked into the night. So it was night, it was all dark, they came at midnight. So apparently she didn't see him at that time because it was dark. He just went into the night to follow the Gandharvas who had stolen the lamps, to get the lamps back. ते विसृज्योरणौ तत्र व्यद्योतन्तास्म विद्युतः आदाय मेषावायान्तं नग्नम् ऐक्षत सापतिम्. Okay, next. Are you able to read?
Mataji, can you
Achintya? Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Translation. After giving up the two lamps, the Gandharvas shone brightly like lightning, thus illuminating the house of Purava. Urvashi then saw her husband returning with the lamps in hand, but he was naked, and therefore she left. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. So this was the whole plan. So what did the Gandharvas do? So when Pururava went after the Gandharvas, he retrieved the lamps. They gave up, the Gandharvas gave up the lamps, but they illuminated the whole house by so what Maharaj said was, when the Gandharvas went, they actually took lightning with them, right? Indra has lightning and thunder, right, as his assistants. So Indra sent his lightning with the Gandharvas. So when King Pururava came to take the lamps, after giving up the lamps, the lightning, illuminated. Up until then it was dark. But after King Pururava took the lamps, the lightning just lit up the whole house of Pururava. And now Pururava is returning with both the lamps, and Urvashi saw him coming back with the lamps, but she saw that he didn't have clothes on. And then this was the reason for her to leave. She said, this is my condition. So she just left him, saying that, doesn't even say what she said. She just left, right? Urvashi then saw her husband returning with the lamps in hand, but he was naked, and therefore she left. Ailopi shayane jayam apashyan vimana iva tachitto vihvalah shochan babhraman mattavan mahim. Is Aditi Lata Mataji able to read?
Mataji, she is left for work. Can she read?
I'll read. I just parked.
Go ahead, Mataji. We can't hear you though.
Did you read, or was I?
No, you should. Yeah, I read
No longer
the
seeing
Sanskrit.
Urvashi on his bed, Pururava was most aggrieved. Because of his great attraction for her, he was very much disturbed. Thus lamenting, he began traveling about the earth like a madman.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So Urvashi left, and now Pururava was alone. He was so attached to Urvashi, as discussed earlier. He was enjoying with her, but there was never a point that he was, satisfied. His desires were not satisfied yet. They were not satisfied. He was still longing to enjoy with her. So when she left, he became almost like a madman. Nowadays, nowadays means in the material sense, people show this like a great, this is like a great blessing or something, that, you love someone and you become mad after that person, and they make movies on that. But actually, this is simply lust. This is simply lust. Anyway, but it is a similar situation here. Pururava Maharaj became like a madman. He was missing Urvashi so much. No longer seeing Urvashi on his bed, he was most aggrieved. So obviously, what was the attraction? Enjoyment, of course. That's the attraction in this world. And because of this great attraction, he was very much disturbed that he's not getting it. And then he was lamenting, practically looking for her everywhere, traveling all over the earth like a madman. This was Pururava Maharaj's condition after Urvashi left. And he's going everywhere looking for Urvashi. Okay, Inya, you also read and then we can end. Satam vikshya kurukshetre saraswatyam cha tat sakhihi pancha prahrishta vadanaha praha suktam pururavaha.
Once during his travels all over the world, Pururava saw Urvashi, accompanied by 5 companions, on the bank of the Saraswati at Kurukshetra. With jubilation in his face, he then spoke to her in sweet words as follows.
So, time passed like this. Pururava Maharaj is looking, he became like a madman looking for Urvashi all over the earth. He's just traveling in separation from Urvashi. And once he happened to come across, he saw Urvashi with 5 other friends, right? Other Apsaras maybe. Where did he see her? In Kurukshetra. And what else is said? He wanted to talk to her. Of course. Once during his travels all over the world, Pururava saw Urvashi accompanied by 5 companions on the bank of the Saraswati at Kurukshetra. With jubilation in his face, he found her finally. He spoke to her in sweet words as follows. Yes. Sakhi, right, with her girlfriends. Happy and smiling. One other thing is, pay attention. Prahrishta vadanaha, being very happy and smiling. She was there with her 5 companions and she looked very happy and she was smiling with her companions. Okay? Here Pururava Maharaj was completely in separation and became like a madman being separated from her. But she was smiling and she was happy. She looked. When Pururava Maharaj saw her, she was with her 5 companions. She looked normal, she looked happy, she looked like she was enjoying life. Of course, Pururava Maharaj was also, very pleased to see her. And then he said, he started talking to her in sweet words. So is Jayashree Mataji there, Inya?
No, Mataji.
So we will stop here. We will continue tomorrow. So we'll begin with Isha Krishna Shish tomorrow. I'll read Bhagavad Gita. Just one paragraph is remaining from the first text. We were reading Dhritarashtra Vacha, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsavaha Mamakaha Pandavascheva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Right? So there we were discussing the significance of the word Dharma Kshetre. Why Dhritarashtra Maharaj said Dharma Kshetre? Because he was fearful of the outcome of this Dharma Kshetra, this holy place of pilgrimage. What would be the outcome of the battle? It would be in favor of the Pandavas, because the Pandavas are virtuous, so the Dharma Kshetra would favor them, and his son was obviously not virtuous, so then it may not go, the result of the war may not be in favor of his son. So that was his fear. And also, as we discussed from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, his fear was, I hope they didn't compromise, right, and decide not to fight. Why? Because of the influence of Dharma Kshetra. By the influence of Dharma Kshetra, Duryodhan's mind, I hope it has not changed. And now he's thinking, why should we fight? Let's not fight. And externally, he's trying to show Sanjay that if this has happened, it's very good. I don't want fight. But in reality, in his heart, what is Dhritarashtra Maharaj thinking? This fight should not stop. It should happen now. Because we have Bhishma Dev on our side, certainly we will get victory. And the Pandavas will be out of our way once and for all. They will be killed. But if the battle didn't take place, these Pandavas will remain like a thorn in our lives for the rest of our lives. We won't be able to enjoy life properly. That's what he was thinking. So that was one explanation. This is what Dhritarashtra is thinking. Now goddess Saraswati, she is giving one meaning of this verse. So there, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. What is Kshetra? Kshetra means field. So this is Saraswati Devi's meaning of the verse spoken by Dhritarashtra. So what happens in a field? What happens in a field? You grow some crops, right? Like you have a rice field, or you have a wheat field, corn field, like that. You grow. So who grows this? A farmer does, right? Farmer, he prepares the land first, then he makes, bunds and furrows where he'll plant the seeds, and when the plants come, he waters them, he removes the weeds, and he puts a fence around the field to protect from animals. So he does everything which is favorable for the plants to grow nicely. These are the activities done by the farmer, and anything which is unfavorable for the plants, like unwanted weeds and unwanted plants, he pulls them out and throws them out. So this Kurukshetra, the battlefield of Kurukshetra, is compared to a field, and the farmer is Krishna, and the good crop that he's trying to grow, let's say rice field, so the rice plants are the Pandavas, and all the help that Krishna is giving to the Pandavas, he's giving advice, isn't it? From time to time, he's giving them advice. He's driving the chariot of Arjun personally. He's speaking Bhagavad Gita also to Arjun. So whatever help that Krishna is giving to the Pandavas is like the different activities done by the farmer in a field for nourishing and properly growing the plants. And the weeds that are not good for the plant, who are they? Duryodhan and his company, his party. They are the weeds. What does the farmer do to the weeds? He just pulls out the weeds and he'll throw them out. So here Krishna is the farmer, Pandavas are the good crop, and Duryodhan and his party are the weeds. So Krishna is supporting, guiding the Pandavas because they are virtuous, and he will establish them ultimately as the rulers, and all the unwanted persons like Duryodhan he is going to end. He is going to cause them to die in this battlefield of Kurukshetra. So this is the meaning given by Goddess Saraswati to this shloka. Okay. So now I'll just read the last paragraph written by Srila Prabhupada in the purport. Both finished. Okay. Both the Pandavas and the sons of Dhritarashtra belong to the same family, but Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed herein. He deliberately claimed only his sons as Kurus. Kuru is an ancestor, and in the Kuru dynasty, the Dhritarashtra, Pandu, they come in Kuru dynasty. So Dhritarashtra's sons and Pandu's sons both should be Kurus because they have the same ancestor. But Dhritarashtra is calling his sons Kurus. But Pandu's sons he's not calling Kurus. He's calling them Pandavas or Pandu's men, Pandu's sons. This also tells us about the mentality of Dhritarashtra. He separated the sons of Pandu from the family heritage. One can thus understand the specific position of Dhritarashtra in his relationship with his nephews, the sons of Pandu. As in the paddy field, so this is Goddess Saraswati's explanation. As in the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out, so it is expected from the very beginning of these topics that in the religious field of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion Sri Krishna was present, the unwanted plants like Dhritarashtra's son Duryodhan and others would be wiped out, and the thoroughly religious persons headed by Yudhishthir would be established by the Lord. This is the significance of the words Dharmakshetre and Kurukshetre, apart from their historical and Vedic importance. So with that we come to the end of the first verse, and in the next class we will read the second verse. And let me just read a little bit of Leelamrita so that we don't lose the continuity. Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada had to change his room, right? Now he's responsible for the rent and everything. He's on his own, basically, all his expenses. But he's also free to preach. Now there's no conditions about what he should speak or if he should or should not speak. Although the people that would come to him were mostly the people that saw him in Dr. Mishra's yoga studio. So, but he didn't have any facilities practically. There was not even a bathroom, right? He had to go outside. Just a single, like a thin hallway kind of room, that's all, in a big building in New York. March 18, he expressed his optimism in a letter to Sumati Morarji. I was very much encouraged when you wrote to say, I feel that you should stay there until you fully recover from your illness and return only after you have completed your mission. So this was her first letter. I think these lines dictated by you are the words of Lord Balakrishna expressed through your goodness, Srila Prabhupada is saying. You will be pleased to know that I have improved my health back to normal and my missionary work is nicely progressing. I hope my project to start a temple of Sri Sri Radha Krishna will also be realized by the grace of the Lord. Since I came to New York from Butler, Pennsylvania, I have rented the above room at $70 per month, and I am delivering lectures on the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, accompanied by Sankirtan, and the American ladies and gentlemen come to hear me. You will be surprised to know that they do not understand the language of Sankirtan, yet they hear with attention. The movement which I have started here is completely new to them because the Americans are generally acquainted with the Indian yoga gymnastics as performed by some Indian yogis here. They have never heard of the bhakti cult of the science of Krishna before, and still they are hearing me. This is a great success for me. So Srila Prabhupada always, like sadhu means like a hamsa, like a swan, always seeing the essence, right? Always optimistic. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's already late. I will end the session here. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.